good morning, good to see everybody again today. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to show you how to round to the nearest whole number and then go on and show you how to round to one or two decimal places afterwards. So let's start with whole numbers. I've got number 74.3 and I want to round that to the nearest whole number. So what I do, I write two branches here. I'm going to put 74, the lowest whole number here, and then on the next branch I'm going to go one whole number up, which is 75. This is going to give me a choice of which one I'm going to have to choose. So I've got a choice here, 74 or 75. What's it going to be? Okay, to find out, what I do is I go to my next number after whole number. So I've got a put a decimal point here, and then the next number is a 3, so I've highlighted that 3 in red. I'm going to use this 3 to decide which one of the two it's going to be, which one is it nearest to. So my rule is, if the red number is 0, 1, 2, 3 or 4, I've got to go that way, in other words round down. If it's 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9, I've got to go that way, in other words round up. So I've got a 3 here, so I've got to go rounding down, in other words to your left as you're looking at it. The correct answer would be 74, to the nearest whole number. Okay, let's have a little look here. I've got 532 this time, 0.76. Okay, so we're going to write 532, the whole number, the lower whole number here, and I'm going to write 533, the next whole number up. Look now at the first number after the whole number, which is the first one after the decimal point. It's a 7. Now you notice I've got another number here. It doesn't really matter. Ignore it. We're only focusing on this 7 and what it's going to be doing to that 2. So the 7, going to our rule, it says we've got to go that way or to the right and round up. So the answer to this one would be 533, the nearest whole number. Okay. Go over here. We're now into decimal places. Same thing applies. So let's have a look. One decimal place means my answer has got to have one number after the decimal point. So my lower answer, remember I'm going to have a choice of two answers here. My lower answer is going to be 32.3 because it's the number as we see it with one number after the decimal point. The other choice I'm going to have is I've got to go up a notch, so that's going to be 32.4. Again, look at the next number after that one decimal place. So the first number after the one decimal place. So I've got to rely on the second decimal place here, and I've highlighted that as a 7. So what's that 7 going to do to that 3? So the 7 going to go to the 3. If we're going to the right here, if we're going to go up, it's going to turn the 3 into a 4. So the answer is going to be 32.4. When you're doing decimal places, sometimes you might want to write it as 32.4 as your answer to one decimal place. That will show how many decimal places you're writing your answer to at the end. And it's a nice way to round up a question. Okay, let's do it with two decimal places this time. So in other words, it means I've got to have two numbers after the decimal point of my answer. So I'm going to have 87.43, because here are my two numbers after the decimal point. And then I'm going to do 87, so one up from there is 87.44. Now, again, looking at the 1 there, the 1 is going to make me go that way towards the 87.43, in other words, keeping the rounding down. And then neatening it up would be 87.43 2dp, indicating that my answer is now to two decimal places. Final case at the end here. I call it the 99 cases, where we've got two 9s in a row. You might see the odd one of these in a question. So we want to round 87.499 to one decimal place. So we use the same logic. It's going to be 87.4 and then 87.5. One up. Remember, we're going one decimal place here. So this time the 9 will have the impact on rising the 4. And our correct answer will be 87.5 to 1 decimal place. Don't worry if you've got one more than two nines at the end of it. By doing it by this method, actually eliminates that problem, and it sort of knocks it on. That 9 will go up, make that one a 0 and up to a 5. So think of it as 87.5 to 1 decimal place. Think of it as a chain reaction, but this method here will keep you on the straight and narrow. So there's a brief introduction to rounding whole numbers and also to 1 and 2 decimal places.